We start with another Brit chasing world titles after putting on a few pounds, in a good way of course. Popular puncher Tony Bellew. Can the bomber fire up the fans? Commentators at the ready for a brand new season. Nick and Jim after our MC, Craig Stephen.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, in attendance here at ringside. And at this time, a very warm welcome to you, the viewers, joining us live at home on Sky Sports. We're in the First Direct Arena in Leeds, and Eddie Hearn is proud to bring you Marching On Together. We're sponsored by Grosvenor Casinos, StubHub, Scots Menswear, and this is our opening contest. Our steward in charge from the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. Alistair Hayes. Our timekeeper from Warrington, Mr. Andrew East. And our referee from Fleetwood is Mr. Steve Gray. This is 8 3-minute rounds, an international cruiserweight contest. It's time to meet the boxers. In the red corner, wearing black with red, on the scales, 13 stone 10 pounds. He comes to the ring in his 48th professional contest as the reigning Latvian cruiserweight champion from Bauska, Latvia, King Arturs Kulikauskis. And in the blue corner, wearing blue shorts with white, weighing in at 14 stone 3 pounds, from 27 contests, he has 24 wins, 15 wins by way of knockout, only 2 defeats, 1 draw. The former undefeated British, Commonwealth, WBC Silver Light Heavyweight Champion. He is the reigning WBO International Cruiserweight Champion and World Title Challenger from Liverpool, Tony Bomber Bellew.
Okay, boys, if a call break, you must take one step back. Don't let any punches go around the back of the head, and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, fellas.
Tony Bellew continues to wait for a world title opportunity that he hopes is going to come his way over the next few months. Hopefully, he says, the winner of the Johan Pablo Hernandez-Victor Ramirez fight in Argentina next month. There is talk that Bellew will get the winner of that one.
Seconds out, round 1.
And he's taken this one at short notice against a Latvian by the name of Arturs Kulikauskis. And let's be completely honest about this, Kulikauskis probably won't be detaining us for too long here. He is not ranked in the world's 200. He's not known as a big puncher. He's giving away around 8 pounds, maybe a little bit more now after the weigh-in yesterday. But Bellew has only had that one outing since last November, when he beat Nathan Cleverly. So obviously feels he needs a little bit of work. And got this at about 10 days' notice. Kulikauskis had a little less.
Yeah, well, even if it's not much of a match, it's got Big Tony into the gym, got him in shape, got him sharpened up, and it gives him some stamina to build on when the big fight comes. I mean, you don't expect really Bellew to have much trouble here, and he looks quite keen to get him out of there early because he's setting himself for these right hands already. So it's not as though he just wants to use the first couple of rounds to dust the rust off. It looks as though he wants to get him out of there.
Easy to sit here and say this, I know, but Kulikauskis' power shouldn't trouble anybody. He has 8 stoppages on his record. You dig into those records, though, and of those 8 opponents, they managed 1 win between them. So the chances of a Kulikauskis knockout here pretty remote. And the right hand gets through there, and Kulikauskis felt it, and he's backed up into his own corner. Comes out swinging, trying to keep Bellew off, but physically Bellew is just so much bigger than him.
Yeah, well, Kulikauskis, he dealt with the little crisis there well. He ducked and dived, bobbed and weaved and got himself out of there. But I think we can see this job is just too big for him. Bellew setting himself well, getting the bit more accurate with the right hand now. Just maybe a little bit over eager. If he just takes his time, this one shouldn't be lasting too long.
4 times Kulikauskis has been stopped over a reasonably long career. But 2 of those come in the last 4 fights, although in that last 4 fight span he managed to go the distance with Ismail Silak in Silak's first appearance since getting destroyed by Kovalev about 18 months ago, a fight we saw. Bellew looking to try and land something clean, but the cleanest shot there was landed by Kulikauskis, a left hand right at the end of that exchange.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know, when you're boxing at this level, you know, you get a little bit sloppy yourself defensively, and that's happened a couple of times already from Bellew. You know, he wouldn't be caught with these punches from a better opponent, so he shouldn't be getting caught here. I think he's just a little bit over anxious. He wants to make the openings, you know, use the jab to open this fellow up, but he just seems too intent in finishing this with one punch.
Kulikauskis just a few moments ago managed to pop a little left hook to the body in the mix as well.
I think Tony Sims just telling Bellew to get the right hand up, you know, pay a bit more attention to his defence. He had a good opening round. He's just a little bit over anxious. You know, he wants to open this fellow up, not just try to blast through his defence. But that was the best punch of the round.
Tony Sims, very experienced trainer, just working with Tony Bellew for the first time. The regular trainer Dave Caldwell, currently out in Corpus Christi, Texas, looking after Jamie McDonnell, who defends his WBA bantamweight belt against Tomoki Kameda. A fight you can see here tomorrow night on Sky Sports. Kulikauskis no stranger to fighting in the UK. This is the 5th time he's boxed here. Boxed Matty Clarkson, got a draw with him and put him on the floor. Lost to Mene Edwards and Dean Francis, and then had a big win against Leon Williams, who went on briefly to become British Cruiserweight champion. And that's a nice little flurry there from Kulikauskis, who's starting to settle down a little bit now.
I think Bellew is just making it too obvious that what's in his mind. I mean, you can see him winding up the big right hand. Really, he wants to be using the jab, break this fellow up, hit him with a couple of solid jabs just to take some of the spring out of his legs. But Big Tony just seems to want to blast him with right hands that are missing or been partially blocked. Nope. This is not going to work. And again, taking counters he shouldn't be taking.
I like that one there, right hand, but Bellew doesn't seem to be troubled by his power at all and can just unload here, trying to find a way through that high guard, that good upper body movement from Kulikauskis, who survived that little onslaught as well.
I mean, if Bellew stays on him, he'll wear him down, that's for sure, because I mean, this is heavy work for Kulikauskis, just trying to hang on in there at the moment.
And Bellew is doing exactly that, Jim, isn't he? Staying on him.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit annoyed, Big Tony. I think he realises he shouldn't be missing the way he's doing. So settling down a little bit now. That's better.
Kulikauskis again looking to try and fight back when he's put under pressure.
See, Bellew, you need a cool head against these guys, because if you become frustrated, it can turn into a little bit of a mess. And the more annoyed you get, the more frustrated, and the bigger the mess. So I'd like to see Bellew using the skills, get the jab working, break this fellow down, open his defences up instead of just trying to blast single punches through. Awkward customer to deal with, that's for sure.
Couldn't land the counter there, and again Kulikauskis showing good defensive skills. Stayed out of the way of that long right hand, then just showed some footwork to get out of range as well. But once again, Bellew's got him backed up, and it is survival time this for Kulikauskis. Well, he's got through this round relatively unscathed.
Yeah, because he's not taking any big punches cleanly. You know, he's ducking, diving all over the place. He's doing his job. I just think it's a night where Bellew should be using his skills rather than his power. There's been too much power in what he's doing. I mean, every second he's looking for the big punch to finish this. Let's see the jab. Let's see him just standing off slightly. That was a terrific left hook. And that's what you need. Give yourself room to work.
Round 3 then of this cruiserweight contest. Tony Bellew, big and physical, but yet to find anything to trouble Arturs Kulikauskis, the Latvian. trouble with his range at the moment, and Kulikauskis showing good footwork again to get out of trouble, and a little clipping right hand.
Well, when 90% of the other guy's thinking's on defence, it's always difficult to pin them down, and this fellow's learned the tricks over the years. So he's frustrating Bellew, and that's just adding to the problems. He has a terrific left jab at Bellew. I'd like to see him using it to open this fellow up. I mean, really, Big Tony should not be missing with punches like that. We're talking world level here.
And there was a bit of muttering in the crowd when Bellew missed badly there as well.
I mean, there's no questioning. This guy is awkward, he's capable, he's good at what he's doing. And, I mean, the clean, solid punches he's taken, you could count them on your thumbs. Just a nice little left hook there from Bellew, but no real effect.
And a low one in there, which Kulikauskis acknowledged immediately. Bellew continues just to chug forward here.
Well, usually with the awkward guys, Nick, the advice is they go to the body because they can't pull the rib cage about the way they pull the head about. But even this guy's even difficult to catch cleanly to the body. He's a real good survivor.
Yeah, he moves really well around a ring. Out of that southpaw stance, and there he is, gone again. Chasing shadows a bit here in this third round, Tony Bellew.
And then with these guys, you want to show a little feint before you throw the punches. So get them to make the first move, see where it is they're going to duck and dive this time, and then let the punch go. Little feint, little threats. But Tony, at times, just a little bit too predictable. And Kulikauskis knows what's coming.
Bellew getting caught on more than one or two occasions as well. Over the course of the 3 rounds that we've seen so far, Bellew looks to land the counters, but again, Kulikauskis on his bike and then lands a body shot as well.
Yeah, there was the jab. I'd like to see a bit more of that from Bellew. Set up the right hand, don't just swing and hope with it. Stood in each other's feet there.
Which is what happens when the orthodox meets the southpaw. Tony Sims is talking to Bellew here about letting the shots flow. I'm sure that's the problem, because he is throwing punches, it's just getting clean connections that Bellew's having problems with.
And that was a nice right hand. He just wants to stand off, as I say, show the fellow a feint, try and force him to make his first move, then you know where he's going to be. But the guy can read what's coming his way, and he's dealing with it.
Round 4 then. Bellew in blue. A proud Everton fan.
Yeah, Bellew trying to manoeuvre him now. This is better, walking across. This is more like it. Make him move the way you want him to move. Too much of the time, Bellew's been following him around the ring. He's kind of stepping across now. Yep, there he goes. Just try to get him into the corner if you can do that.
Not sure if you're a film buff or not, Jim, but I'm sure you've heard that we have a budding thespian in our midst. Tony Bellew is appearing with much more than a cameo role as well, it must be said, on a new film that's coming up in the autumn called Creed. He's been working with some big names, Sylvester Stallone, to name but one. There was talk about him doing more work, but he said, I'm not doing anything until I win this world title. He's so dedicated and focused, but to having that success in the boxing ring.
And there was a nice little feint there. That's it. This is a bit more like it. Yeah, little threats, little feints. Get him to make the move first. Then you can pin him down. Bit more thought into what Bellew's doing now. That's better. That's better. Much better.
That's better as well. But still, Kulikauskis trying to throw shots of his own. His problem is they just bounce off Bellew with no effect at all, and just slipped away from that left hand that Bellew tried to land. Didn't get the impression you're going to follow Tony's film career too closely, Jim.
Yeah, well, I think it's the latest in the Rocky series, isn't it? What are we at, 14 at the moment?
Well, remind me not to go to the movies with you.
Actually, the first two Rocky films I thought were very good, but from then on in, I don't know. Another little feint, then the punch. This is much better.
And that will soften him up and slow him up, and he's really starting to get through here. And Kulikauskis tried to just apologise for something there, and Bellew said, well, I don't care about that, let's get on with it. And the heads came together, and Kulikauskis was ready to apologise, and Bellew said, forget that.
This is different stuff now from Bellew. This is using his skills. He's a different league to this fellow. It's just taken him longer than it should have done to prove that.
Well, he's still there. Still grinding away here, Kulikauskis.
Some of the sting is going out of his move there. This is really good.
The left hand was much better. The right hand missed badly, and Kulikauskis thought he got away with it, but the left followed up and nailed him.
See, he's been under constant pressure, Kulikauskis, so I think it's getting to him now. He's tiring now.
Oh, Tony Sims got the call at late notice, of course, to work the Bellew corner.
Yeah, well, Bellew was a lot better in that round. He was thinking what he was doing, he was taking his time, no signs of frustration, little feint before he was getting the punches go, and manoeuvring Kulikauskis into corners as opposed to just following him around where he wanted to go. That's when the head's coming together. Protect yourself at all times there, sir. Yeah, well, at this rate, Bellew can get this fella out. 10 seconds.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this is the beginning of the end for Kulikauskis.
Seconds out, round 5.
Round 5 then of this 8-rounder, and he was certainly shifting some punishment in the latter stages of that last round. And again, looking at touch gloves, and Bellew not interested in the niceties.
Well, I think if he wants the stoppage, it's going to have to be in the next couple of rounds, because if Kulikauskis can see the light at the end of the tunnel, he'll find a way to hang on in there for the last couple. So this is the time now to put the pedal down and knock the enthusiasm out of him.
He's trying to pick his shots a little bit more against this very, very slippery customer, but against the left hands that are doing the damage when Bellew is hurting him.
A decent chin when the punches get through. Just totally defensive now. Really feeling the pace now. The job just becoming too big now.
Spending a lot of time up against the ropes. He needs all of that upper body movement. Again, he's just tagged Bellew with a counter there.
A low one from Bellew.
Yeah, it really was. Well, there's less and less coming back from Kulikauskis, as Bellew just continues to pound away here in the hope of making the breakthrough. There's another one. Steve Gray, the referee, taking a reasonably close look for the first time in the fight as well, because the traffic's getting pretty heavy now. And Kulikauskis looking really tired.
Yeah.
Bellew's got him pinned in a corner. Can he keep him there? Another left hand nails him, and there's the referee hovering, just keeping a very close eye on things, because Kulikauskis is getting pounded around this ring now. And that's it.
No, that's a good stoppage. I mean, from the previous round, Kulikauskis had nothing left. The job, I mean, he was under constant pressure. Okay, Bellew was a little bit erratic in the first couple of rounds, but he was making him work every second, just drawing the energy out of him. Then he started using his skills in the previous couple of rounds, and clean punches. Kulikauskis was managing not to take the punches cleanly, but the longer it was going, the more he was taking. So that was a good shout by the referee.
A little message of support there to Jamie McDonnell from Tony Bellew, saying good luck tomorrow. This is the finish. You'd seen referee Steve Gray start to take a lot more interest because it was really getting pretty heavy in there for Kulikauski, and I don't think anybody, well, Kulikauski didn't like the stoppage, but it was getting very, very one way.
Yeah, and I'm pleased for Bellew because really if you're chasing world titles, then you shouldn't be struggling to look good against this kind of fellow. But once he got his mind on the job, he looked apart. He was much better. The left hand, the jab, the hooks from the left hand were working. And he just ground them down. So the main thing is, I suppose, he improved as the fight went along. Bellew started to look the part. But not much point in allowing this to continue. Good news that it didn't go the full 8. Good workout for Bellew and a good finish.
Yeah, and for a guy who's not had a lot of activity since last November and who is hovering on the brink of another world title, a good few rounds as well. There was probably absolutely no value in bringing someone in who would just get flattened by the first punch. So a good little workout there for Tony Bellew.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our timekeeper, Mr. Andrew East, records an official time, 2 minutes 7 seconds into round number 5. Referee Steve Gray stops the contest. In his opinion, Arturs Kulikauskis in no position to continue. The winner from Liverpool, Tony Bomber Bellew.
So Tony Bellew safely through that one. And he will be watching with interest next month when Johan Pablo Hernandez, the IBF champion, and Victor Ramirez tangle in Argentina. He will be hoping to get a shot at the winner. Jim Watt will be hoping to get a couple of tickets to the premiere of Creed when it opens up in a few weeks' time. And when Tony hears what you think of his acting career so far, Jim, he probably won't be very happy with you. Anyway, let's hear if he's happy with his performance tonight. He's with Andy Scott.
Tony, 5 rounds against an awkward but ultimately outclassed opponent. How did you rate that performance?
You know what? It was about rounds. First Southpaw I've faced since Adonis Stevenson. And he was awkward and tricky. I think I touched him a couple of times in the first 2 rounds and he just thought, oi, oi, I'm just going to get on my toes here. And I thought, okay, don't give him a couple of rounds. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting rounds. As soon as I landed anything with the left hook, it was just, the fellow was like trying to catch danger mouse, to be honest. So I'm happy with the rounds. And on to the next one. Listen, Eddie's always planning stuff. He's a massively busy man these days. I fell down his pecking order slightly, I think. So I'm very grateful for getting on here tonight. It's a fantastic Leeds crowd, great stadium, massive fans. Big up to all you guys, you're helping boxing and pushing it. Keep screaming for your boy. And I'll be back soon with a big, big fight, please.
What was it like having a different voice in the corner? Your normal trainer, Dave Coldwell, who I know you're very close to, he's over in Texas with Jamie McDonald, which is tomorrow live on Sky. Tony Sims was filling in for you. What was it like?
Listen, I need to thank Tony Sims from the bottom of my heart. I've known Tony a long, long time, and he's a fantastic, amazing trainer. And for him to step in for me the way that I was honoured to have Tony Sims in my corner. Ultimately, Dave's my coach, but if I could have any other man to talk to me, give me advice, I only have to pick up the phone and Tony's there, so it was amazing to have him, it really was. And tonight I learned more again. Listen, I'm on a learning curve always. I haven't had as many fights as people believe, and I've done things rather quickly, so Tony's taught me a few more tricks tonight, and we touched the kid a few times. Tony gave me the advice to take your time and start, let the lighter punches go instead of the heavy ones, and it seems the lighter ones got rid of him, so I'm happy. I'm just happy to be out boxing, and I go home safe again to the kids.
I know you're chasing cruiserweight world titles. Let's quickly get a word with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, what's the world title picture looking like for Tony Bellew, and how far away is he from a world title shot?
Well, that IBF title is now being contested on October the 3rd between Ramirez and Hernandez, and we got the winner. So, we're just waiting for that fight to happen. And Callum Johnson pulled out the show 7 or 8 days ago. Tony was in the gym and stepped up, and hopefully Hernandez gets the job done, or maybe. And then we've got the perfect preparation there, because not a lot of guys stop that guy. He's got wins over Kalenga, and he's an experienced guy. So it's a good performance from Tony tonight, and I'm glad he stepped in at a week's notice, and we want a winner of Ramirez against Hernandez later this year.
Well done.